Well, good afternoon, and welcome to this week's very special edition of Drive Facebook Live. We have some of our wonderful award winners who are also some of our very finest workshop instructors, and they all work with Tony. So I'm going to be turning this over to Tony, my partner. And I was joking with Tony, it's new rock band Tony and the Instructors. So
I'm doing it.
yeah, so hey, over to you, Tony.
Thank you. I want to say hi to everybody out there. And I want to say, first off, before I start introducing everybody, I just want to say, I think I have the greatest team in all of Drive. You guys are so good. You're great shop owners and you're great instructors. And I'm just happy to have you with me. I'd like to I'm going to go around and give them their first names, but I'm going to let them all introduce themselves. We have with us Dan, and we have Chris, and we have Mark, and we have Deanna. And what I'd like to do is just throw it to, let's start with Dan. Dan, why don't you go? Tell us who you are, your shop, your journey with Drive, a little bit about your certification and how you have been enjoying instructing. So fire away, my friend.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so I am Dan Vasquez. I have a 6-bay German specialty shop in California, up in Northern California near Sacramento. I've been with Drive for just over 3 years now, and I was lucky enough to receive my Master Elite Award this year at the Expo, and that was pretty incredible. Thank you. Yeah, so the journey there, like a lot of other people, wasn't exactly easy. It took a lot of hard work and dedication. But the biggest thing now is that, it's not about the award, it's about the benefits that I am reaping as a result of all the work that went into that award, right? And so it's definitely something that's earned, not given. And, the benefit of it is that my shop is mostly operational now, and I can somewhat come and go as I please. And that basically gave me the freedom to be able to start giving back to you guys out there as a workshop instructor, which is something that I'm very passionate about, because I feel like if I can do it, then anybody can do it. You guys certainly can do it. And I'm looking forward to working with all of you, and I'm having a great time doing it so far.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
That's really great.
And I think in your case, it's more go than come.
Yes.
And I think your crew enjoys that.
They do. I've got a great crew, and I will do my shameless plug on my workshop that I'm going to be teaching next week, starting on Monday, which is Building Your Dream Team. And that is really, that class is one of the ones that helped me to become operational. I mean, the biggest thing that you can do is get a great team in place and trust them, trust but verify, and let them do the work and let them carry out your mission and your vision, right? And without them, I wouldn't be here on this Facebook Live right now. I'd still be grinding it out on the front counter or in the back, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
You hit on a
wonderful.
key point there, is let them do their job. So many
Yep.
shop owners will not give up the reins.
Yep. And that key term, operational, right? Where that just means the person can run, doesn't have to put a lot of attention on it, and you give them that responsibility and they are willing to take that responsibility. And that's the way you build that team, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Very cool, my friend. Thank you. Thank you for all your efforts, and I appreciate you helping out with Drive and helping out the industry this way. One of the things I want to say about Dan, I've worked with him a bit now. He always impresses me with his willingness to look at the most cutting edge technology. Like I know a lot of old school, old dog, shop owners that don't want to do that, and that's fine too. But I feel like that's one of the skills that he brings to his shop, is his ability to really embrace modern technology.
Yeah.
Again, thank you, Dan. Let's move over to Chris. Tell us who you are, your shop,
Yay.
where it's at. One of my favorite people in the world. Just for you guys who don't know, when Chris came on to the program, her first consultant was her greatest consultant. No, I'm kidding. Her first consultant was me. I was her first consultant, and that's a relationship that goes on for life. So we're very close friends, and now she's instructing for me, which is what I've been trying to get her to do for about 5 years, and I finally brought her into the team. And go ahead and fire away, Chris.
There was a process to that, wasn't there, Tony?
Yes, there was.
My name's Chris Probst. I own a shop in Denver, Colorado. Been in business 22 years. Been with Drive for 21 of those years. Tony is my music man. Love Tony to death. Larry, love Larry too, you know. But I got into this industry through marriage. I never would have dreamed of owning my own shop ever. Automotive was not my thing. I wanted to own my own shop, but I absolutely adore this industry. I love it. I want to change the world. I want to change the industry one car at a time. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. But I teach all of the financial courses with Drive. I've got how to read and use your financial statements coming up this Monday, starting on Monday. I am an accountant. I have an associate's degree in accounting. I've been doing accounting since 1990 something. It's been a long time. I absolutely love accounting. I love accounting. It is not math, but I do love accounting. I love numbers and everything that goes with it. I like teaching people how to organize and use QuickBooks and do all of that wonderful, great stuff. And giving back to the industry for me is huge, because not only do I want to change the stereotypes surrounding the automotive industry, I also want to help groom shops and give back to them for everything they've given to me. The network of people that I have met over the last 21 years in this industry, Deanna, Mark, Dan, John, Kevin, Jim, all of them, the amount of help that they've given me and the wonder, it's so great. The networking is just so great. And I absolutely love everybody I've met, and what you can get out of that is incredible. So I want to give back, and my shop is basically operational. There are times where I do have to still be here on occasion, which is where I'm at now. But that's okay. We're continuing to grow. You know, when I started with Drive, I was doing 250,000 a year. Now last year I did 1.3 million out of my tiny little 1,900 3-bay square foot, or 1,900 square foot 3-bay shop. So it's totally possible, and it's been an exciting journey, and I look forward to continuing to instruct Drive. I'm lifelong Drive. So
Nice.
Well, you know, we all breathed a sigh of relief when you said that you wanted to become an instructor, because Ron and I had overhauled the entire curriculum for finance and handed it to Tony and said, "Okay, Tony, find someone to deliver it."
Exactly.
because nobody else in Drive was volunteering.
No.
Nope.
So that's great. Oh, by the way, your friend Michelle from Acclaim is watching,
Hi, Michelle.
and Brittany from A&M, and Mark Graham. They're
Hi.
all watching, saying hello.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because Bob, when you got the whole thing totally fleshed out, and you're like, find someone, there was nobody that came to mind quicker than Chris, because we had talked, because again, she was my client. She was one of my early clients, so she got me when I was pretty green. But boy, oh boy, I from talking to her, I knew that she was built for those workshops, and I knew her background, and I thought, yep. And so that's
And
when
everybody who's attended her workshops have just nothing but 5 stars, and oh my God, she's so great.
yeah.
Go,
Exactly.
yes, thank you, thank you.
I love the feedback.
My bookkeeper loves Chris. She best.
Yep.
She learned a lot.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Very good. And so what is your certification level?
I'm a master
That's very
master
good.
shop owner with an associate's degree in accounting.
There you go. So there are her credentials. So be sure to make it into the workshop on Monday for understanding your financial statements, which starts
How
on
to
Monday.
read and use your financial statements.
Right, how to read and use.
Use, right.
Big point there. Use it.
Yep.
Don't just look at it and put it in a drawer.
That's right. That's right. Okay, cool. Thank you, Chris. Mark, you're up.
Okay, my name's Mark Bagg, and I teach the professional service advisor sales course, as well as the controlling the front course. My wife and I are just finishing up 33 years of being in business. I've been with Drive since 1998 and ended up getting our master's probably about 5 years ago. So it took all that time. And as Bob said, I fought Drive tooth and nail. If it was up to my wife, I'd still be writing service, right? She'd be like, "Oh, we'll just save the money and you can just write service," but it does not work that way. You can't run a business that way. And then I think it was last year we got our Masters Elite, and our shop is completely operational. I've got a general manager, I've got a service manager, a couple service advisors, shop foreman. We also specialize in European cars. We did about 1.7 million last year, and I'm a small shop like Chris. We only have like 2,200 square feet for the shop production area. So we're on track to probably
With
break
no
2 million.
parking.
Yeah, I was gonna
With
say, no
no
parking.
Your
parking.
parking.
No, I have 2 people have to move cars on and off the street. That's like their full-time job all day long. On and off,
And-
on and off, on and off. So it's quite a struggle. It's quite an operation to do that. And as far as where we are right now, my wife, she's done with working at the shop. She'll go in and just supervise maintenance stuff, things of that nature. I go in, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a month. I work probably 6-7 hours a week on the shop. That's it, really. And as Dan was saying, you hire the right team, let them do their job. Don't interfere. Don't let them make their own mistakes. They'll produce. If you have the right people, they'll produce for you. So my life consists now of
Clam digging and
what's that?
clam digging and
Yeah, clam digging. I'm on
boating.
Cape Cod. I've been here for 2 weeks. We went tuna fishing twice. I got skunked, unfortunately, but saw a great whale show, and hope to go clamming shortly here, maybe when we're done. Okay, going to go for a swim anyway. It's hot here. My wife and I have a working farm in Brazil. We also have a farm in Massachusetts. I live 90 miles from the shop. One of the reasons I don't really go in any longer. And I really pretty much do what I want. When I was working in the shop, I worked as a service advisor for about 10 years and running the shop. And I'll tell you what, that was a difficult situation. But I learned a whole lot being a service advisor. Unfortunately, I kind of learned it on my own and then took the service advisor course that Drive provided, but I was already out of service advising, but I learned a lot from it. But even back then, I remember one of the former owners, Mike Lee, said to me, he saw my numbers and I was selling over $1 million a year. And that was back in the early 2000s. He says, "Well, you can sell, can't you?" I said, "Yeah, I can sell pretty well." And so I did that for about 10 years, selling over $1 million a year on my own. So I hope that who's ever interested in the professional service advisor course, please join us. It starts next Monday. And what I would love, and the reason I like teaching, for one, I come from a teaching background. My father was a teacher. My mom taught as well. I do like teaching, and I don't want to see service advisors, and some of you are owners who are service advisors. I don't want you to make the same mistakes I did and get yourself into trouble that I got myself into with customers by not being able to set their expectations properly. I also teach the Controlling the Front course, and that is all about shop flow and efficiency. And it doesn't matter how many cars you have at the shop and how good you can sell. If you're not an efficient you don't have efficient shop flow, you're just going to struggle to make money and get the cars out, and you're going to have unhappy customers. So we don't want that. Why don't you join me for both of those classes? I think Controlling the Front starts in August.
Awesome.
That's the
And
basic story.
great. And you were going to say you were on track to do, and I was assuming you were going to give us some gross sales numbers. You're on track to do
over 2 billion, I would say.
There it
Yep.
is. So
and your fellow
again,
Connecticut friend is watching, Kevin.
Kevin, we love Kevin.
Okay.
have
Kevin and
my
I are in
service
competition.
My service advisor's starting with you on Monday too, Mark.
Fantastic. Keep my eye on them.
That'll be great. Very good. Now, you can see we've got a few instructors who specialize. Chris specializes, Mark specializes, and they both have incredibly good KPIs in those areas. But Dan is one of my guys who can hit anything. He can hit any workshop and I use them a lot around the rest of the workshops we deliver because we have 24 master workshops we deliver. And there's another person here who is one of my favorite people in the world. When I first got into this area and was starting to try to build out the instructor team many years ago, I went to an expo where I'm now help me try to remember, Deanna. I can't remember if it was your masters or your master elite, but it was the first year I was with Drive, and I'd never heard you speak publicly before. And I listened to that speech, and it was profound. I mean, it was just, all of you guys are great speakers, and all of you guys had great speeches. And I just really want everyone watching to go to the link and watch their speeches because they're just amazing. But there was something about Deanna that I just went, this person needs to be in front of a group of people, and she needs to be in front of my group of people. She needs to be in front of my Drive attendees and my students who I care so much about from the standpoint of workshops. Everybody at Drive cares individually about each person, but we all do it from a different perspective. I always think of you clients as attendees of workshops, and I knew she would be so great. And so, Deanna, go ahead and introduce yourself, talk a little bit about your shop, what your certification is, and what you're going to be teaching.
She is Miss Inspiration.
Yes, she is.
Well, thank you very much. My name is Deanna Cole Urey, and I have a very small shop in South Mississippi down on the Gulf Coast. We celebrated 51 years back in February, so you'd think I would know everything by now. But I've been.
Well, you definitely know what not to do.
I could write a class on that. But it's a family owned and operated. I met Drive in 1999, one of the famous flyers. You know, you read the flyer, you think, oh my God, they're watching my shop. So my brother and I went to the seminar, and of course I met Bob in 2001.
Yes,
And
you did.
that I was the first person from Mississippi you'd ever met. So that was kind of interesting. But yeah, my credentials are, I started in 15, and it took me that long. And again, someone said about mistakes. Don't make the mistake that I made. In 15, I embraced the master's program, and I am the biggest cheerleader in Drive for the master program, because I thought it was for the big shops and just these other people. It didn't have anything to do with me. And when I realized how far along the path I already was, and I embraced the master, my entire shop, my entire life just completely changed. So I got my master's, Tony, that year. The next year I got my master elite, and the year after that I got my sustained master elite. So and it's believe me, the tools that Drive has put together, just phenomenal. The classes, the service advisor class, the financial class, the classes that Dan are teaching, these classes are toolboxes. And it was explained to me back in 2000 when I first joined, and this is the thing that hooked me with Drive. They said, have you ever bought that piece of equipment, that that $7,000 piece of equipment? It's going to make you $1 million. You just hook it up and you charge this much money. All your problems are going to be over. You buy it, you use it twice, it sits in the corner, and you never use it again. And then you get rid of it. You either haul it off for scrap, or you sell it for $500 so you can get the property clean. And the guy told me, he says, the tools that you get from Drive are tools that are in you. You can move. He said, I can move. The guy that was telling me, he says, I can move to any state in the country, any city right now. I can start from scratch. I can locate the right piece of property. I can put the team together. I can get the equipment. He says, and I can have a shop open and operational, because the tools are in me that I got from Drive. And that stuck with me. And it's absolutely true. And the master program is a path that brings all these tools together for you and puts you where you want to be. Mark, Chris, Dan, Kevin, all the different ones that I know that have gone through these master programs, they're fabulous. And I've met some young people being an instructor now, and thank you for asking me to be an instructor, because I just absolutely love it. It's the highlight of my life right now. But I've met some young people I can't remember the names now, but I met some young people in some of these classes and they're like in their 30s or maybe their early 40s, and they're taking these classes. And I tell them, I said, hey, if I had had your opportunity at that age, there's no telling where I would be right now. I said, so you do what they tell you to do. You don't start trying to second guess it. If you knew what you needed to do, you wouldn't be in this damn class. Excuse me, I don't mean to cut, but
There you go.
but that's what it's about. But drive and Chris said about the network. Oh my gosh, the support. And another thing, someone said at the last expo that we have, which the expos are the other thing all of you need to attend. But at the expos, they were amazed. Some of the new people were amazed that the master elites, Mark, Chris, Dan, Kevin, the master elites are the ones that walk down the audience and we'll speak with anybody. We're not like, oh, we're the cool kids and y'all just, stay away. When you get to be a big boy, you can talk to me. We're the ones that get out in the audience and swim and just, what do you want to know? What can we do for you? What can we help you with? And that's the type of people that are drive clients.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
said.
Thank you, Deanna.
and that's something that for some shop owners, it's hard to learn. You just have to do it. But Dan, I know you know this. The first step on your road to success is to be willing to change.
Yeah, absolutely.
And boy, Mike Lee used to pound on that at the seminar. He'd have everybody lay their hand on the table and say, how long will that hand stay there until you decide to move it?
Mhm.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
how long
the
will
last
your
thing
shop?
Sorry,
Huh?
Paul. The last thing you want to do is spend money for someone to coach and mentor you and then not listen to them and throw it in the trash. And
You're
it's-
wasting
you
your
know,
time and money.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Chris used the phrase earlier, she said it's possible. And I think that's the great thing, because when I started with Drive, I thought that stage 4 and being operational, I thought that was a pipe dream. I didn't really think that existed. I thought it was impossible. But there's people on this video today, like Mark, who, I mean, 6 hours a week, 2-3 days a month. He goes, it's possible, guys. It's possible. It really is. And like, if I could get anything across to anybody out there, it would just be, it's possible. There's people in here who are doing it, and we're here to help you. We want to help you. We're passionate to help and give you any tricks of the trade that we know. We're happy to share them with you to try to help you achieve that freedom, because there's nothing better than freedom, right?
No, correct.
And we were, every one of us was exactly where you are. So you're not talking to somebody in an ivory tower. You're talking to somebody that has been on the front lines, has bought the
Mhm.
t-shirt, has spent the money, missed the vacation, the whole show.
Tears. Yeah.
So,
It,
yeah.
I'd like to say you have to take action. One thing when I got my master's, it took a long time, and Bob was like, well, it took you long enough, right? You have to take action. All the knowledge they gave me, yeah, we had a lot of good changes, but I still had to take certain actions that I didn't want to do, but had to do, and I did them. And knowledge is really useless unless you put it into action and get results. And that's the key. That's what Drive does. They give you that push to put it into action and get the results. And
That's
they're there
awesome.
they have your back on that.
And you can even cry, scream, and yell at your consultants, right, Tony?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely, Chris.
I'm not a pain in the butt at all.
Absolutely.
That's
what
my
we're
wife
here
used
for.
to call up and, why aren't we getting results? Well, look in the mirror, right? So
Now I do want to. I'm sorry, Chris. Go on.
I never hung up on my consultant.
I don't believe you.
I've hung
I
up
don't
on
really
my
believe her
clients.
either.
It is a wonderful relationship. Sometimes contentious. Always, though, the goal is to improve the condition of the shop. That's always what it is, and that's the one thing that a consultant and a client can always agree on. And how they get there is sometimes disputed, but it is always going to be great. I do want to mention that Deanna's class starts on Tuesday. She starts her class on Tuesday, and she's delivering how to train your team. Am I correct on that?
Yes. Yeah.
So she's delivering on, we have classes go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we have classes that go Tuesday and Thursday, and hers starts on Tuesday. I will be delivering Planning for Success starting on Tuesday as well. So we have 5 workshops rolling next week. Does anybody else want to ask anybody? Does anybody else want to, you know, go after anybody else just for fun, because you guys are the funnest group around. So you guys, we love to have our Monday morning meetings. And so anybody got anything else they want to say or do?
I do. I want to the value of the top 20 is so important. We have a great top 20 group. I truly love these folks in my group, right? And sometimes there's contention within our group, but we're okay with that, right? We speak our mind and we help each other, we support each other, and somebody's always got a solution to a problem for us. And I just wanted to give a shout out to our top 20 group. You know, Kevin, Jim, Deanna, Chris,
Brian.
Steve, and who did I leave?
Jim.
And
Brian,
what's that?
Brian and Sarah.
And Brian and Sarah. Yeah.
And
We're
Jim,
the best top 20 group that Drive has, by the way.
We
Yeah,
are.
that's-
That's us.
That's
Yep,
awesome.
that's
And
us.
and I just want to throw in there that Carla Weiss is the one who runs that group. She's a phenomenally good consultant, and she's always been there for them. And that is part of the process of Drive, right? There's consulting and there's training, and we're the
And there's
training
networking.
side, and there's networking. That's correct.
And we get
One-
to see all of Kevin's hot dogs.
well, when do I get to see that, Chris?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
I'm
pizza.
sure Kevin will post one. We'll just, hey, Kev, post a hot
He'll
dog.
probably
Yeah,
post one
that's
about
good.
a half an hour from now. I'm sure he's getting ready to go get something to eat.
Yeah.
There you go.
Right now.
There you go.
Yeah,
So
you know, Mark, you bring up a great point, because the 20 group really helps you stay accountable. Because
Mhm.
That's the
otherwise,
key.
you're out there alone. And you know, our old joke was, the great thing about owning your own shop is there's no one there to tell you what to do. But the horrible thing about owning your own shop is there's no one there to tell you what to do.
That's a good point, Bob. We hold ourselves accountable. There's no BS in the other shop owners. We might be able to BS our consultants a little bit because they're not there and some of them haven't been shop owners. But when it comes to us being face to face, there's no BS.
yeah,
And
totally
the amount
cool.
of help that the top 20 group that we give each other, you know, I was
Mhm.
struggling earlier this year to where I was going to pull my hair out. And if it wasn't for Deanna and Jim and Mark and Kevin and Steve and Brian and Sarah, I don't know that I would have gotten through that. It was pretty rough.
Yeah, I
And
know. You're
that-
there to help each other, and that's the name of the game. We're
And
here
you
to
get an
help.
outside perspective looking in on your shop that you probably don't see.
Oh.
And it's from your peers.
Yes.
It's from your
Absolutely.
peers. You know, people who do exactly what you do. And one last point that I would like to make, and something that I completely appreciate, is the fact that Drive just did not create a curriculum and just go, okay. They are continuously improving. They are continuously building. They are and they keep us informed on big movements within our industry. So the network just has so many arms and legs, but I just appreciate all the new classes they come up with, you know, the master program that they built and that I didn't appreciate for years and years and years. So just the Drive really is it's just a fabulous organization. And I'm very happy and pleased to be a part of it.
Well,
Well,
thank
that's
you.
great. Hey, Tony, it's time for a station break.
I think it is.
It is.
Next Friday, July 19th on Facebook Live, we're going to have special guests Amber Stout and Kayla.
One of our newest
Burris.
masters.
They are the newest masters, and they are fully operational. They're running the shop. It's a beautiful succession plan from Bob Stout. Bob Stout is 100% fully out of the business now. And I talked to him at the last expo, and I want to let you guys might not know this, but he's going to be the newest member of our team. And I also
cool.
want to add that Jimmy Sexton, another operational shop, is going to be the newest, one of our newest members of our team. We'll have Jimmy up and running by next week, and we'll have Bob Stout on in the beginning of August. And so we're just
Great.
adding to our team. It's going great.
Fabulous.
But they're going to
Fantastic.
be on, it'll be Amber and Kayla.
Oh, and
First on
Chris,
the-
Roxy says hi. She's watching.
Hi, Roxy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Back to you, Bob.
Yeah, well, I want to thank everybody for joining us. It was great. If you want to watch the videos of our wonderful Masters and Masters Elite, they've been posted in the Facebook page, along with links to our workshops. Please do that. I hope everybody has a great and a happy weekend, and we'll see you all next week on Drive Facebook Live. All right. Thanks. See ya.
Bye.
Hey, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.